Hello everyone, welcome to part 1 of this video tutorial series on parking in TaxiTuner version 4. My name is Rob Schumacher. I am one of the experts over at Say Intentions, and I'm also on the team that's currently converting the top 500 most used airports in Say Intentions to the latest TaxiTuner version 4 standards. With that, what that entails is not only are we updating the taxiways, the runways, making sure the FBOs are annotated, the runways are done properly. Parking is a big part of that too, and I'm very much a perfectionist, so I may take it a little bit too far, but I find the result to be absolutely incredible and well worth it. Just ask anyone that uses Say Intentions if their hometown airport has airlines parking where they shouldn't be, they're going to notice that, and it's going to be very noticeable. Or if, for example, if all the gates are set to a gate medium, and yet the airport gets 777s, 747s, 787s, what have you, or even A380s, they're not going to show up, and that's going to be incredibly noticeable. So parking is very, very important in Say Intentions, and getting it right is not an easy task, but it's a very rewarding task, and the result is a phenomenal experience in the sim. So with that, we'll dive right in here into part 1. Part 1, I'm just going to show you some of the new features in TaxiTuner version 4 that deal with parking. So as you can see here, I'm looking at Amsterdam. I was working at Amsterdam for the last 3 days or so. And to begin with, I'll show you the new airline counter. So basically, you can click on any parking spot. It'll bring up this menu on the right. It has all the information for that gate. So this one is gate Gulf 7. We have it labeled as a gate. The type is a gate, which most parking spots at a commercial airport, at least that commercial airlines park at, you'll have set as a gate. So anything with a jetway, set it as gate. If it has a jetway, make sure to check the box that it has a jetway. This is a new feature in TaxiTuner version 4. Right now it doesn't really do anything, but in the future there may be some cool features in Say Intentions that result from this. So if it has a jetway, make sure you check it. If it doesn't, so if it's a hard stand, like over here, then there's no need to check it. Just going back to our gate over here, gate Gulf 7. Let's look at some other options. So I have it set to a gate large. Now a gate large is going to be a 747-400 on down to a 767-200. Also includes like the A330 on up to the A350. Now this gate Gulf 9, I have set to extra large. In Say Intentions, extra large is going to be your 747-8 and also your A380. All the other wide bodies are going to be gate large. So your 777s, 787s, 76s, gate large. Now your gate mediums are going to be like your 757-300s on down to like your Airbuses, like your Airbus 320 family series. That'll be your gate mediums. Your gate smalls are going to be your regional jets. So basically your Embraer 135s, 145s, CRJ 200s, 700s, 900s. Those are all gate small, same with like the Embraer 175s, 170s. Now one important thing to note is the Embraer 190 and the Embraer 195 are going to be a gate medium. So just FYI, they will be medium. The delineation mark between the small and the medium is between the Embraer 175 and the Embraer 190. So this gate, I know, gets the A380. This is, as far as in all the hours of research I've done at Amsterdam, the only airline that brings the A380 into Amsterdam is Emirates, and this is the gate that they park it at. I went back about 2 or 3 weeks, and the data, they have not parked that thing anywhere else in the airport. So I think it's pretty safe to say that Emirates A380 only parks here at gate Golf 9. So that being said, I went ahead and I made this one a gate extra large, because that's really the only one the A380 will use. It's too big for the gate large. It's too big for obviously all the others like the mediums and the smalls. So if the airport that you're tuning gets an A380 or 747-8, make sure you set some gate extra large. If it doesn't get those, any other wide bodies, make sure to have gate large. Now, the majority of gates at an airport, I guess Amsterdam's not the best example for this, but like most other airports, the majority of gates are going to be gates medium, and that, that, like I said, that encompasses like your A320 series, 737s, 757s. The vast majority of aircraft are gate mediums. And then your smalls are going to be pretty popular too. So like down here I have a bunch of gate smalls, and this is all my well, actually I left these as medium, because actually at Amsterdam, KLM City Hopper, which is their regional affiliate, operates mostly Embraer 190s. They have some Embraer 175s as well, but one important thing to note is that smaller aircraft, if they need, they can park in a larger gate. So I don't have any gate smalls set here at Amsterdam, and that's because there's really no gates that only get smalls. Pretty much every gate here will get at least an Embraer 190 size or larger. So I have them all set to gate mediums, and that way, like even the 175s in KLM City Hopper, will end up parking at a gate medium. And that's just because I don't have any gate smalls set, and I didn't want any gate smalls set because I still wanted the KLM City Hopper and Embraer 190s to park at the same gates as their 175s. This ramp here is pretty much all KLM City Hopper. So just keep that in mind. Anything smaller can park in a larger gate if you have the assignment for it. So like I said, I have KLM City Hopper in the allowed airlines, and that will ensure that even a small Embraer 175 on KLM City Hopper will park in the gate mediums that are assigned to that airline. But it doesn't work the opposite way. So large, like an A380, is not going to go park in a gate small. Even if the A380 gate is occupied, it won't default to like a gate large or a gate medium or a gate small. It's just simply too big. So unfortunately that would disappear, at least for now. But that being said, next up we're going to sort of show you this new feature. It's called the airline list in Taxi Tuner version 4. It's over here on the right. So you can see I'm going back to gate Golf 7. And these are all the airlines I've assigned to gate 7. But this amazing new feature that Tom added, you click here on this little line saying enter ICAO codes. Just click on it and a little window will pop up. And this will show all of the airlines. It'll show their associated ICAO code, the airline name, and how many flights they operate in the necessary time window into this airport, and whatever the time period is that's used. So for example, KLM is obviously number one here at Amsterdam. They have 4,600 flights. And it just goes down the list. The largest airlines, in terms of number of flights, are going to be at the top of the list. The airlines that, like ASL Airlines France has one flight. They're going to be at the bottom. But anyway, this is very, very helpful because it lists all the airlines that use this airport. And the number one rule of thumb when assigning parking spots in TaxiTuner is that you assign a spot for every single airline that uses the airport that's in the data. So any airline that shows up in this window, make sure that you assign them a spot somewhere. Ideally, it'd be the spots they use in real life. But even if not, just make sure you assign them somewhere. Otherwise, if you don't assign them, they are going to randomly go to whatever spot is open that fits their size category. So, like for example, it's let's say like United Airlines. If you do not assign anything for United Airlines only flies wide bodies here, which would be a gate large. If you don't have any gates set to United, those aircraft are going to spawn at basically, well, first they're going to look for an empty or any gate larges that are not assigned. And if there's none that are not assigned, they will park there. After that, they're going to start looking for any other gate larges available. And that may be a KLM only gate in real life. And you may only have it set to KLM only. But if it has nowhere to park, if you don't have anything, if there's none that are unassigned for it, it's going to basically try and find whatever gate large it can find. So if that's a KLM gate large, it'll end up at a KLM gate large, which will obviously look very weird. So the best solution is just to assign a gate to each airline in that list. And as you can see, I have multiple airlines at different gates, and this is based off real life data. And you can get however detailed you want with it. But make sure you assign all those airlines. And there are some airports that are like some smaller airports that I can think of that, they may only have a gate or two, and they may only have one airline that flies there. At least currently, they may only have one airline. One example of this is La Crosse, Wisconsin. The only airline that flies there now is American Eagle, or it's operated by Envoy. It is one gate. Now, this airport used to get Delta from Minneapolis. It used to get Northwest. It used to get Mesaba. And it used to get a slew of charter airlines. And it still does get a charter airline every now and then, like Sun Country. American Airlines flew a mainline flight there for one of the honor flights. So in that case, at such a small airport like that, what I will do is I'll leave a gate or you might not even need to assign an airline to a gate. You might just leave every gate unassigned, leave them as medium, and then no matter what airline flies into there, it's going to park at one of those medium gates, and it won't really matter. You don't need a specific assignment. If you know what airline uses what gate, sure, give it an assignment. But if there's only one gate at the entire airport, just leave it unassigned, because that American flight that Envoy flight will get sent to that gate anyways. So just leave it unassigned, and that way anyone flying a retro flight or anyone flying anything other than Envoy will still get sent to that gate as long as they're an airliner. And that's what we want. Excuse me. So, one other option, so like La Crosse itself has 3 gates, and I know Envoy uses gate 2. So I set gate 2 to Envoy, and then gates 1 and 3 I left unassigned. And that way any other airline flying there will use any of those other gates. So that pretty much wraps up the first tutorial video that you've seen some of the new options available in Taxi Tuner here. In the following videos, I'm going to show you some of the other tools I use, some of the other websites I use for getting my gate assignments, and we'll start that in the next video. Anyways, thanks for watching. See you soon.